Library of Heaven's Path. Chapter 23. Troublemaker. Tianxuan City is the capital of Tianxuan Kingdom. To be capable of becoming one of the four great families of the city, the prowess of the Wang family is one to behold. Even the principal of the Haotian Academy would have to spare some face for such a powerful family. To think that of all teachers, Wang Ying would choose to acknowledge a fellow who has scored 0 in the teacher qualification examination. That is an insult. A massive insult. Even though other people might not be aware of the affairs shrouding Zhang Xuan, as a student of the academy, Wang Dao has heard a lot about him. He has once misguided a student, causing his cultivation to go berserk, thus sullying the reputation of the teachers. This person is the topic of discussion and target of mockery over a meal or tea with his peers. Yet, never in his imaginations would he expect his younger sister to choose to acknowledge him as her teacher. If the other students were to be informed of it, won't he become a laughingstock? The more he thinks about it, the more angry Wang Dao becomes. He walks towards the entrance of the classroom and spots Yao Han, who is wrapped like a mummy. I see, it is young Master Wang Dao. As the butler of Baiyu City Lord residence, Yao Han had come into contact with many different powers. Given that Wang Dao is a talented genius and the son of the head of the Wang family, it is natural for Yao Han to be aware of his existence. You are. Glancing at him, Wang Tao's eyebrows shoot up. After getting beaten up so savagely, not a single hint of his original appearance remains. Even Zhao Ya finds it hard to recognize him in his current state, needless to say, Wang Dao. I am Yao Han from Baiyu City. Yao Han says. Oh, so you are Butler Yao. Why are you? Wang Dao is slightly taken aback. I accidentally injured myself in the midst of training. Yao Han explains awkwardly before changing the topic. May I ask what young Master Wang Dao is here for? My younger sister has acknowledged Zhang Xuan as her teacher. I am here to take her back, as well as to teach the arrogant teacher a lesson. Wang Dao doesn't even try to conceal his rage. Ah, your younger sister. You mean Wang Ying Xiaoji? TL. Xiaoji to miss. Yao Han was driven out of the classroom right shortly after he entered it. Furthermore, his attention was focused on Zhang Xuan the whole time, thus, he didn't notice Wang Ying's presence. Wang Dao nods his head. I have heard that Wang Ying Xiaoji's talent is in no way inferior to yours. Why would she choose him? Yao Han is puzzled. My younger sister rarely comes into contact with the outside world and has an innocent personality. That fellow has a glib tongue and I'm not sure what the fellow said, but my younger sister actually believed the nonsense he spouted. Recalling what old Lu told him, fury flares from Wang Dao. How vile. That fellow is a scourge, the scum among the teachers. Upon recalling how the young mistress of his family has fallen for his deception as well, he grits his teeth angrily. Young Master Wang Dao, you have to teach that fellow a lesson. Wang Dao replies. At the same time, he stares at him doubtfully. Right, Butler Yao, why are you here? Let's not talk about it. The more I talk about it, the angrier I get. Our young mistress had also fallen for the deceitful words of Zhang Xuan and acknowledged him as her teacher. Yao Han scoffs. You mean Zhao Ya Xiaoji? Wang Dao is taken aback. Yes. Yao Han nods his head. Then, why don't you barge in and expose that hypocritical fellow? Why are you waiting at the entrance instead? Wang Dao is bewildered. I wanted to expose that fellow, but our young mistress got agitated. I had no choice but to wait outside. Young Master Wang Dao, you came at a perfect timing. If you were to go in now, teach that shameless fellow a lesson and expose his ugly intentions, our young mistress would be able to see his true colors. Yao Han says. Rest assured, I will be exposing his fraud now. I will make sure that shameless fellow reveals his despicable self. Wang Dao grits his teeth and nods his head. Then, he kicks the door open and walks in with widened strides. On the other hand, Zhang Xuan has finally gone through the individual situations of his 5 students with them. There are quite a few flaws with Zheng Yang's spear. Zhang Xuan elaborated on them slightly, causing Zheng Yang's strength to soar once again and the latter rejoiced over his improvement. On the other hand, Yuan Dao has never cultivated a proper cultivation technique or battle technique. Zhang Xuan took out the Academy's basic Haotian 9 Dan Formula's 1 Dan formula and modified it slightly before passing it to him. He didn't modify much of it, so there is still a large gap between it and the Heaven's Path divine art that he is currently cultivating with. Even so, it is still several times more effective than the original Haotian 9-dan formula. With just one look, Yuan Dao almost leaps up from the joy rushing through him, overjoyed to realize that he has acknowledged an accomplished teacher. Alright, I have roughly gone through the problems you all have on you. You all need to persevere in your training. Returning back to the classroom, Zhang Xuan gathered all 5 of his students together and was explaining the situation to them when boom, the door to the classroom is kicked open. Following which, a furious howl echoes in the room. Zhang Xuan, withdraw my younger sister and Zhao Yashaoji from your lessons right now. Otherwise, I will make you will suffer. Following which, Wang Dao rushes in and stands furiously before Zhang Xuan. His eyes are dyed crimson red, as though he is ready to murder someone. Big brother. Seeing her elder brother in such a state, Wang Ying is shocked and immediately rushes forward. Don't interfere in this. He pushes his younger sister to his back before staring coldly at Zhang Xuan. With a haughty expression, he says, Zhang Xuan, it is one thing if you use your nonsense to deceive others, but to think that you would dare to coax my younger sister with lies. You are seeking death. I will give you 10 seconds. If you withdraw my younger sister and Zhao Yashaoji from your tutelage now, I can let this slip. If not, even if you are a teacher, don't blame me for not going easy on you. Boom. With a scornful look, Wang Dao releases his full strength, revealing a very powerful aura. He had reached the level of a fighter 4-dan Pigu realm. No wonder he could become a disciple of an elder. This strength is in no way weaker than an average teacher of the academy. I am conducting lessons right now, get out. Zhang Xuan looks at him blandly. Conducting lessons? With your standard, what could you possibly be teaching? Wang Dao mocks him coldly. Get out. You want me to get out? Who do you think you are? The only reason why I call you a teacher is out of basic respect. Look at how you are you not aware of it? You are only a lowly teacher who is still in Junchi realm, don't act like you are a big shot before me. Even if I were to beat you up today, the most that would happen is a reprimand by the elders. What could you possibly do to me? He isn't wrong. There are quite a few disciples of the elders in the academy who are stronger than the teachers and hold esteemed positions in the academy. Even if a conflict were to break out between them and the teachers, the most they would do is to reprimand them slightly, there won't be any severe punishments. Big brother. Wang Ying's face pales. She is very aware of the fact whether the teacher before her has standards or not. When all of the expert physicians in the entire Qianshuan kingdom could do nothing about her problem, he was able to solve it casually. How could such a person possibly have no standards at all? Just as he was about to stop that rash elder brother of hers, the face of her teacher darkens and his eyes narrow. Scram. To ask me to scram. He didn't expect that the trash of a teacher would get him to scram. Just as he is about to continue speaking, he catches a glimpse of the cold gaze of the other party. Looking into his eyes, Wang Dao shivers uncontrollably, as though he is a rabbit who had caught the gaze of a tiger. Under the oppression of a powerful aura, he retreats a few steps subconsciously and his legs tremble. He has only felt such sharp aura from his master. How could it possibly appear on the academy's worst teacher, a fellow who is just fighter 3-dan Junchi realm? It took a moment before Wang Dao regains his composure. In that instant, Wang Tao's face darkens like an ant's nest as his eyes took on a deep shade of red. In his eyes, even though Zhang Xuan is a teacher, he is not any more than a trash. Yet, this trash dares to shout at him and cause him to retreat out of fear. If this were to spread out, how could he possibly face any other people? How would he be able to maintain his prestige? You are courting death. Feeling humiliated, Wang Dao roars and with a flick of his hand, the sword on his waist has been drawn. Hu. The sword stabs out in a flash. Pa pa pa. At fighter 4-dan Pigu realm, one would possess strength beyond 500 kilograms. Even before the sword reaches him, the continuous sound generated from the friction between the sword and the wind creates an oppressing atmosphere, as though it would be impossible to counter the attack. Teacher Zhang. Seeing her elder brother striking out with such speed, Wang Ying's face turns ghastly white. Although she is impressed by the guidance of Teacher Zhang, she is well aware of the fact that the teacher before her is only at fighter 3-dan. He is far from a match for her brother. It is impossible for him to dodge the blow, he would definitely be injured. Frightened, she shrieks in fear and closes her eyes subconsciously. How could this be possible? Just when she thought that the teacher Zhang who just resolved her problem for her would be wounded by the sword, she hears voices of disbelief from Zhao Ya and the others. She quickly opens her eyes to take a look and her eyeballs almost popped out from their sockets. She petrifies on the spot. She sees her elder brother's incomparably powerful and mighty slash getting stopped in midair, and what is stopping it is the two seemingly weak fingers of teacher Zhang Xuan. To block such a powerful blow with just the pinching of two fingers. If you find any errors, please let us know in the comments below so we can fix it as soon as possible. Also, like and subscribe to our channel to get notified of the latest chapter release.